Hello everyone, it's Sebastian. Welcome to this new episode, and I hope that you like to play with cards today because today we will speak about a device which is in this box and that will be very useful for your red team assessment, for example. Some days ago, I went shopping to the Lab 401 shop and I discovered a device which will be very interesting for red team tests and pen testers. This is a device called the ICopy-X that I will present you. But don't be worried because this video will not be like a raw documentation about what you can find on the manual or in the internet, but mostly my feedbacks, the limitation and how you can go further. Actually, in this video, I will show you two devices. So there's like this one, the ICopy-X, and the other one, which is hidden in here, which will be in use for iClass attacks. So yeah. What I like also when ordering some RFID devices with Lab 401 is that you have also an RF field detector, which also allows you, for example, to detect if you are facing a low frequency reader or high frequency reader. So for example, if I'm just like using this phone, which is using only high frequencies, I can see that, for example, I see one LED which is in here, which is blinking because it is actually powering this LED through the high frequency antenna that you see in here. And if you face, for example, a low frequency detector, or low frequency reader, it will actually power up. It will use exactly this coil, which is the low frequency coil, and it will power the other LED instead. So yeah, this is the power of induction. So I will mostly make some space in here, and I will also show you the different features that are documented, and then we'll go further. Okay, so let's see that. And I will also change my mic because it will be simpler for me to just like go through all the features with another mic. Okay, so now let's run this little device by just pushing this button actually and wait for some seconds until it starts. All right, now you can see plenty of other features. You have like the autocopy, you have a tag. So actually the autocopy is a mix of scan tag, read tag, and also write tag. You have also some feature to sniff the transaction between a tag and a reader. You have also a simulation feature. We have also PC mode that we will see together. You have some diagnosis mode, volume. So yeah, actually, if you want, because yeah, the sound of this thing sometimes is very loud. So if you're doing, for example, a red team engagement, maybe just like power off the sound, so you will be maybe stealthy at this point. So now let's see about the autocopy feature, which is in here. So for this example, we'll just like use, for example, in a tag like that, and we'll try to copy this tag to a small tag like that. All right. So first we have to put the tag that we want to read just on top of the antennas in here. So you have like the high frequency antenna and the low frequency antenna that are in this reader, and then we can autocopy this tag. So we'll scan first, then we can read, and then we have successfully read the tag. So now it comes the time to clone it to another tag. So I will actually write what is in this big tag into this little tag in order to copy it. So let's do that. So I will now replace this tag by the other one, which is in here, and then I will just like push this button to write everything in it. Now is the time to write everything on this tag, so we just push this button. We also confirm that we have put the same type of tag on top of the antennas, we write and once everything is written, you have like a write success. So normally you tag now is cloned, and you can use this tag, where it's supposed to be. There is also a shortcut to this feature actually, using this button, which will actually scan, read, and write all the tags. So if you push this button, it will exactly do the same job as before. So it will try to scan, read, and then it will then suggest you to write to another tag. The great thing about it is that once you have scanned a tag and we have read it, all the results will be also stored in a storage that I will also show you a bit after. In standalone mode, also a powerful option that you will find is the Sniff function that I will also show to you. So let's see that together. So now let's go to the Sniff the area feature, and then once we are doing OK, it will also ask us which type of sniff it will have to perform. So as we know that we are working with MyFair Classic, it will be 14A sniff and not other things. So let's go in here. And to prepare the environment, what we have to do is actually to put the ICopy-X, just in between of the tag and the reader, exactly like you are doing a mine in the middle. Now let's pretend that I have like my tag that I want to read. I have a reader which is in here. I will just like make sure that it is also open now. And then what I have to do is actually just like prepare the ICopy-X to be in here. But first, I will also just launch the sniff mode like that. And then I can just sniff all the things. Now also I will just check if everything is all right, like that. So now I just sense that the reader has read something, so I will also maybe pass it again, and then I will finish the task. And once I have finished the task, there will be like a small screen that will show me the progress of the scanning. And after finishing the task, you will see that, for example, the key that was used, for example, to read, for example, block or something such, is the key which is FFFF, which is like a default key. So yeah, it was not very difficult to guess, but at least you can see that this feature, which is the Sniff one, is not only just like the Snoop feature that you can find on the Proxmark, but also a script that is also found in the tools of Proxmark, which allows you, for example, to crack in online mode while doing snooping the key based on the nonce that are also sent between the reader and also the tag. Another powerful feature will be also the simulation, because as you have probably encountered in your life, for example, even for example, if an installer is using, for example, the MyFair Dispire technologies, sometimes the buildings that use it doesn't use it very well, because it doesn't use the application in order to authentify, for example, a user. So there's like no authentication, for example, to authentify someone, or to to use it for other application, but it only uses, for example, a UID. So if it uses a UID, you can actually simulate a UID, right? So let's do that. So for example, if we go to the simulation, we have the choice for to choose any type we want. For example, so we have MyFair Classic one in here. We have also ultralight. You have N tags. You have different. You have also a low frequency ID. So you can simulate also a low frequency tag. So yeah, actually there's like plenty of choice in here. So you can also simulate a NetApp. So yeah, there's like plenty of choice in here. So for example, if I'm just like, I don't know, if I want to, I will just like act like a neutral tag, for example, I can just like use, for example, this default ID. So if I'm starting that and I'm going now to an application which is called NFC tag info, I will just like see, for example, I will just like try to scan it. Wait a second. Also, the antenna is not very sensible, but yeah, new tag has been detected like that. I can see, for example, that the tag that I have detected is this one. And so you know, this little device worked perfectly well to simulate all the things. So this device is pretty handy because, you know, it's very small. You can hide it in the pocket of the suit, and also you can save traces, for example, when doing simulation, but also snooping, and also when you are, for example, reading a tag, you can save everything on the storage that I will also show you a little bit after. So yeah, but the downside of this thing is that you cannot, for example, once you have saved a tag into this device, you will not be able, for example, to replay it directly. You will have, for example, to use that in PC mode in order to replay everything. So let's see that together, and also I will show you in the meantime the storage. So in the documentation, it is specified how you can also use Windows in order to interact with this device, so we will also see that. But thereafter, I will also show you how you can use Linux in order to interact with the ICopy-X. Also, let's see what we got in here. We have our computer and then also our ICopy-X like that. So I will also show you the capture of this device in the right. And yeah, also what I will do is that I will use the provided USB cable to plug this device to the computer, and I will start the PC mode like that. And then normally there will be like a storage which will appear in here. So if I'm just going in here like that, I can see, for example, a storage folder, where I can see a client, and I can see some other application as well, and a bash script. So yeah, actually, if I want, for example, to directly launch the hardness attack, I can directly click on this and then use, for example, you know, any tag that I want to crack. But first I have to wait a little. But before all of that, I just forgot that I have also to check which COM number I have to use, because in here it's obvious that the autoconnect doesn't work pretty well. So I will force the COM number in here. So let's see that together. So I will just like display the screen on the right, and we'll see that, for example, when you are going to the device manager, you will see that you are using a USB serial device COM10. So let's use that. So I will use first the run batch script, and I will precise the COM number, which is the COM10, like that. And then we can see that my device was perfectly identified. So now I can directly like also use some, you know, some commands like the hardware, for example, tune. You see, for example, the antenna characteristics. For example, I can just like input, for example, a tag in here just to see if I have like a drop, you know, in the antenna borders, in order to see, for example, if there's like some tension drops on the LF or HF side. And so I can also see that I'm facing, for example, a tag which is a high frequency tag or low frequency tag, for example. So yeah, if I'm just repeating that, for example, if I just remember that here I have like a 30 volts, and in here for the HF, I can do that again. Wait a second, tune like that. Let's see the difference. All right. I can see that I have like a drop, you know, of 6 volt in here. So that means that I'm probably facing also an HF antenna, which is, you know, quite great. So in Windows, it works perfectly great. And I can, for example, maybe try the hardness tool again. But now I will force directly the contents, because it seems like the auto connect doesn't work pretty well. So let's see that together. Come on. Take some time. All right, I will also put, you know, a tag in here, and then I will also just disable that and precise that I want the port. Maybe, I don't know if I have to precise 10 or COM10, but let's see with connect. Okay, disconnected, so maybe it should be like COM10, like that. Sorry for that, the keyboard is a bit tiny for my fat fingers, like that, offline. Oh, okay, now it's online, perfect. I can now read the tag. So yeah, for this attack, normally you should always have like one key that is known by the system, because if you don't have like any keys in here, you will not be able to do that. So yeah, generally, if you remember that, you have to first, before launching the hard-nested attack, if you don't have any keys, what I suggest is to do the online attack in order to crack, the nonces that are exchanged between the reader and the tag. So then you can just like take one of the key that is in use for one sector, and once you have done that, you can add the key into, for example, the dictionary, and after that, you can perform the hard-nested attack. So yeah, the progress bar is actually, I don't know if it actually shows some progress in here, because using the client is pretty obvious that it is doing something, but in here, it is like, I don't know how much time I will have to wait in here. But let's see. If I'm getting too much impatience, maybe I will not, I will just like launch the client instead, and I will show you that with the client it will work. Okay. Let's see with another, with some minutes again. Maybe not some minutes, but let's just wait for some seconds. And then I will probably just like, close that and directly launch the clients. Maybe I will get to try it a bit after, but it's like the first time, as I said, it's the first time I'm using this program on the Windows. So yeah, so it's like, a big surprise for me too. Come on. Yeah, I don't see any progress in that. So let's maybe use like directly the clients. Yeah. So let's precise the port 10 like that. And then we just like do the HFMF like that, and see that we have like the HFMF hard nested like that. Okay. Hard nested. Sorry, fat fingers. All right. And I know that, the key that is used, for example, for this block is the FFF. So I will actually use also the same configuration like that, because I'm a little bit lazy. So I will just like copy that directly. And you know that with the fat fingers, it's like also complicated for me to type in here. But yeah, let's use the hard nested attack in here. So yeah. Okay. Card didn't answer to the CLI. I will try another card just like that. No. Press any key to continue. Wait a second. I will start once again. Problem is that you have to directly stop everything, because it doesn't seem like just like pushing the button in here works pretty well. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but it doesn't seem to work to stop, to pause the task. So I will just like do everything once again like that. So let's see. All right. Now I will use the HFMF hard nested. Right. So just to make sure that's also the option are right also. So I have like the MF hard nested. Okay. I have also precise that's in here. Wait a second. In here, I have the block number, which is like the block 0. Okay. I have then the key A that is in use, that I know that is like the FFFF normally, if I remember well. And what I want then is just like to go to the target block number 4, and then guess the key A. So let's try it. But wait a second, maybe just to launch also the hard nested attack with as well with other attacks. I think that there is also I mean the auto pawn feature, exactly like the malware. I mean the proxmark. Yeah, this is like the important feature. So yeah, as probably the key that I'm using is not FFFF. I don't know actually. I will just like get lazy a little bit more and just like use the auto pawn. So let's use the auto pawn feature that will also launch the hard nested attack if, for example, it faces a tag that is like a new generation tag, for example. So yeah, it seems like no known key was supplied. Recovery key might fail. Okay, that's bad. Why is that actually? It seems like the key it doesn't use the right keys in here. So look, okay, maybe I will just like provide directly the key path, so like that it will be working. So yeah, I'm not used to use Windows for that, but yeah, just for the show, let me do that. And then let's maybe use the keys in here. And so you have the keys that have been dumped just before, and then maybe use this key. Okay. And now it's working. So yeah, I had also to precise the path of the keys in here. And it seems like, for example, this the client, when I just like run this client, it doesn't find the key, so I have to precise them. Try that. Oh, that worked perfectly now. Super. So yeah, like that, it directly tried to use like a known key. Then after using a known key, I tried to just discover it if it was like vulnerable to nested attack first. So after showing that, I mean, it found all the keys. But yeah, if you face, for example, generation 2 card, so you will probably have to also perform the hard nested attack. Let's see if I have like any card like that in here. So normally I will find like a new generation card. Yeah, looks like this one will be much more complicated. So let's see that with the hard nested attack. I mean, with the auto pound, and so it will use also the hard nested attack as well. All right, so now you are in the hard nested attack process, because actually it is using there's like one sector which is using like a non-default key. We know some default keys which are like the FFFF, but one of the sector is using a non-default key, and so as it is also using, I mean, as it is a card, a new generation card, it is not vulnerable to all the attack on MyFlow Classic, for example. So in here, we are using the hard nested attack. Everything is launched automatically with the auto pound feature, which is like doing coffee. But yeah, as I'm lazy to just type everything on this small computer, sorry for that. I wanted to show you the process, the hard nested attack process using the auto pound. And so yeah, after that, you will be able to recover the keys that are missing. And then what is good also is that the result should be also recorded. I mean, normally stored in the storage. But if it's not, you can always like add it yourself, for example, using an editor, and you can add, for example, your keys in here. So let's see. Take some time. All right. It found one key. It took like a while. I don't know why actually. Maybe it's because also this computer, which is not very fast in here. So yeah, we'll probably try to run it against a computer which is faster on Linux thereafter. You will see that it will be faster, I think. I hope. So yeah, we'll probably just like not run everything in this computer. I just wanted to show you that it's possible. It's possible to actually run everything, in the PC mode, which it is exactly like using, for example, your computer with Proxmark 3 and commanding the Proxmark 3 with your computer. About the storage, you can actually find the storage. I mean, if you are looking at the storage that pops when you plug like a PC mod running device, you will see that, for example, there's like some dump that you can find in here. In here, I was like dumping, for example, an HID prox ID card. So I have also the ID card, which is in here. So it's quite cool because I have a trace of what I have scanned before. I have also a trace of some other tags like the MyFair Classic tags here. So it's pretty good because it also store everything with like the same format as Proxmark, because in here it's use exactly the same tools as Proxmark does. So that's why the Proxmark format is also used in here. So yeah, if you, for example, want to edit the result, you can also use, like, for example, in here, a next editor, and then you can edit the tag if you want. You can also analyze it a bit after. So yeah, and you can also use the clients thereafter if you want, for example, to simulate this tag, or if you want to write this tag to another tag, because after, for example, when you just like skip the process of autocopy the tag, you will not be able to, for example, to directly choose the tag. So the thing that you can do is that you can choose the client, and then you can go to MF, for example, HFMF. You can go to write, for example. There's like some option to write the tag in here. And so you can also load, yeah, this is like a load from the file emul-dump, so you can actually also use the emul-dump. So let's do like eload, like, for example, like that. And we can just like precise, for example, the file name. So let's use, for example, the file name in here. We can use, for example, this EMF file. We can just like drop it in here and then load it in here. And then once we have loaded, we can, we can write, for example, what we have loaded in here into a tag. We can do pretty much everything we want. So yeah, it is exactly working exactly like a Proxmark. So yeah, it's exactly like using a Proxmark. In some occasion, you will have also to store your own keys because, for example, if you face a MyFair next generation tag, I mean, you will have also to precise some keys if all the keys are custom. So you can always do that. For example, in here, you can also do like an online attack, and this online attack will also automatically store the keys in here also as well. And all the keys that have been captured, I mean, have been retrieved during a capture will be also stored in here as well. So like that, you show that your device will be very efficient when it comes to brute force some known keys. All right, so now let's use the Linux system, and will also be much more used about that than Windows. So let's see. Let's maybe use like the ICopy-X file like that. So I will also clone the Proxmark project like that. And why I'm doing that, I mean, it's not documented like that, but as you saw, for example, before, we were using a Proxmark client, but it was like a little bit custom, but you will see that the commands that are not custom. So you will see that, for example, using, for example, the Iceman, the Iceman project, the Iceman repository, which is like in the RFID research group project, you will be able, for example, to comment the ICopy-X. So now we will just like go in here, we'll first make everything in here like that. Wait until it finish. Yeah, it takes a bit of time. All right, now it finished to compile. We can directly launch the PN3 with sudo writes. I will also precise in here that, and also I will type my password like that, if I remember it. Okay, is it that? No. normally should be that. Also, you have to make sure that the PC mode is running. So I will also start the PC mode like that. Okay, seems like, for example, in here, the client doesn't see anything in here. So I would just like make sure that the TTY is also present. So normally you should see a TTY, which is named TTY SEM0 like that. So that maybe I will directly force this TTY to be in use. So wait a second, I will just like directly copy that. And then, yeah, so now it works. We can clearly see that, for example, the Proxima client was able to detect that some sort of Proxima device was in here, but it's just precise you, for example, that normally the firmware doesn't match the version of the client. So yeah, it is device firmware mismatch. So yeah, in here we can clearly see that there's like some there's like some compatibility maybe issues. I mean, you will probably find some compatibility issues, but let's see if we, for example, we can directly use the hardware tune command, for example. So let's use that. And so, as you may guess, as you have also saw, for example, you see that the interpreter use actually the same hours that we have saw just before in the Windows client. So actually, I may guess that the client is also based on the Iceman project. So yeah, in here you can clearly see that, for example, we have like the HF antennas in here. I don't remember that in the Windows client there was like also the approximate Q factor lines, but yeah, no, it's not a problem in here. Let's maybe see what we can do, for example, with the MyFair classic tag that we have played with before. We would also use the autopound, so like that, because I'm also lazy, I will directly use the autopound, which makes coffee. So let's just run that and see if it does exactly the same things. So yeah, now we can maybe see that it's like a little bit faster than using the computer as before, because maybe also this computer is slower than this one. So maybe it's because of that. Yeah. So yeah, it finds, you know, you will find the key faster than using my computer, because yeah, also as I said, my computer wasn't fast enough, but using a faster computer than this one, which is like the i7, normally should work faster than the previous context. So here I have also done the key, and also the key are also present in here. So if you want to access to the key, you can access also on the keys on this directory, because I have launched actually the pin3 clients in this directory. So yeah, yeah, as you have saw, you have exactly the same abilities as using a pin3. Of course, as the firmware is a little bit like outdated compared to the RFID research group project, which is like the Iceman project. You will probably have like some incompatible comments, but you can actually use that, use the device as a Proxmark device. I didn't try to flash actually, for example, if I'm just going back in here, for example, if I'm just like quitting that, I didn't try to actually use the pin3 flash commands, because I don't want to, I don't want to break the device. But yeah, maybe it will work, maybe it will not. But I don't want, for example, to try it, because I will have then to dismount this device and then flash it over the G tag, which is like, will cost me maybe a morning doing that, at least an hour to do that. So yeah, I will probably try to do that just a bit after, but I have to show you also other features that can be also interesting for you, for example, to use during assessment. And there's like something that I wanted to show you is this box, because this box actually also contains a reader, which is also interesting because, for example, if I'm just like unpacking that, you will see that there's a reader, which is like an HAD iClass, if it can. Sorry. So the reader is like an HAD AC, I mean iClass AC in here, and so this reader will actually be used to decode the iClass tags, because as you may guess, the iClass tags, you have like actually two choices. You have like the standard iClass, and also you have the Elite iClass. So yeah, for the standard iClass, what is interesting is that these tags actually use one master key, which is exactly the same in all readers. And this is pretty amazing because if you want, for example, to clone a tag, you need this master key in order to, for example, read the tag. But there's also another key that is in use to decode the tag. And so this reader is actually used to first dump the keys and also to decode those keys. But in the elite type of tag, you will have to do some brute forcing. So yeah, there's like plenty of documentation, for example, like the low class attack, which allows, for example, to which is implemented, for example, for Proxmark, which can be also in use with this device that you can use, for example, to dump the keys in order to, then to read the content of the tag. But yeah, for the AC, I mean, for the standard legitimate standard tags, this reader can work pretty much as all the techniques that I will just show you in here. And yeah, about dumping the keys, you will find a lot of articles. I mean, there's like several articles, including, for example, this one explaining about how also the author implemented the low class attack in order to also dump the elite iClass tags. But it will also reference, for example, all this attack, for example, using some readers in order to directly use the keys in order to dump and also to decode the tags. And it is one of the technique that is in use in here with this reader. So yeah, it is pretty amusing because all these attacks also, for example, in here is the also another try using some vulnerable reader in order to communicate with it and then try to read the secrets from it. There was also some other articles and also some papers about how to, write, for example, a boot sequence that will dump the keys, in the ROM, for example. So yeah, there's like if you look at the internet, how to dump, the keys from the iClass, there's like plenty. And also you will find also in some Twitter posts someone who also leaked the key, the master key of an iClass standard iClass reader. But yeah, this, as we know, this master key is only used to dump, to read a tag, so you can clone a tag, but you cannot decode that because you need other keys for that. So yeah, the purpose of this reader is actually to do the two things, is to dump and also to decode data. So let's see how it can work. And if we look, for example, into the internet, so let's see maybe about the ICopy-X iClass. Right. So yeah, it costs like a lot of money because actually it uses also a reader directly, and also then the interface by using like an interface which will be able to communicate in a serial, with the device, with the ICopy-X, and how to use that. Let's follow that, but we'll say that it's like a little bit limited. So I will just like try to first plug the ICS decoder, try to then wait until the ICopy-X recognize it, and then place a target iClass SE tag card, and then I will try to to copy it in another card. So let's see that, and then yeah, we'll see if it's possible to do that. So first, I will just remove that. I will use exactly the same cable as this one. I will stop also this task because I was running on PC mode. I'm just going back to the home screen, and then I'm connecting this reader like that. But then there will be like an issue. The issue is that I cannot then, the device freeze, and I cannot do anything. It's like pretty annoying because I was like trying to, at this point I was trying to just plug as it was described on the documentation, and it doesn't work. So maybe I have to update the firmware a little bit. So let's see how we can update the firmware. So if we want to update the firmware, we can directly also go to the website, go to the updates, and then enter our serial number in order to see if we can do something. So let's do that, and I will download like an APK file that I will then have to push on the device. So yeah, the instruction looks as follows. So I have to just like enter my serial number, then wait until it compiles everything, then download the APK, and then replace the APK by the newly downloaded upgrade. So let's do that, and then we'll see if it works. After providing my serial number and also email, I can just like build another firmware, and I can then download it if I want, like that, and then wait until it downloaded, and then I will replace the APK file with this one. And then putting my device in PC mode, I will have to replace this APK by the one that I have downloaded just before. So I will just like rename it as old in here, and I will copy the new APK in here. All right. So I will probably also rename the extension like that. Super. And so then I will go to the option in order to update the firmware. And then let's process the firmware update. So I will just like push OK, and normally let's pray a little. Let's go start. Are you sure? Are you sure? Hope it will not break. Mission updating, app installed, etc. And then I will also go, a little bit further on the APK to see what is it exactly, because I'm also curious about that. Whoa. Do you want to start the updates? Yeah, I want. Nice, the update is successful. So normally I will not have any surprise, and I will not have to flash it with JTAG. So yeah, I will also maybe just set the screen light because it's very powerful. Like that, super. Now let's try again to use the reader. I will connect the reader once again. Let's see. And I hope it will do the job. Oh, I see that now a small message was also displayed, and it was not the case at the beginning. So just by updating the firmware now and plugging the decoder, once you plug the decoder, you're able to see this message which pop out, and it will just like tells you to now place any tag. So let me just like find the tag that I want to work with, any target. As a target, I will use, for example, my GlobMed gym card in order to see if I can read it. So let's see. I will just like place it in here like that, directly in front of the reader. But I don't see anything in here. Seems like something is a little bit blocked. Well, yeah. Yeah, I don't know actually if it works pretty well. Maybe just like doing a scan. Let's try with a scan like that. I will just like try to maybe directly put this card in the scanner. So I will also see if I'm facing a right tag. So I will just like scan some tags in here and see what's the nature of this tag. All right, so it found like, yeah, it found like an iClass edit, probably SE or SE or yes. So yeah, maybe we can try again. I don't know. Because normally it is seen also as like an SE tag. So normally uh, we should be able to read it. So let's paste once again a tag like that and see what happens. But I don't see any change. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know actually why it doesn't work like that. It's a little bit blocking right now. You know what? I will probably use one of the tags that are provided also by ICopy-X. So I will directly change that tag by this one. So like that. Let's see if we can do that. It's detected or not. I will also maybe plug and unplug and plug again the decoder. Right. Maybe place the tag a bit later. Also, maybe I will wait until I see another color in the reader. Let's see. Like that. Yeah. There's like nothing happens in here. After contacting the ICopy-X people, it is clear that I was using an SEO writable card, and so this kind of card is not detected on the read phase, but on the write phase. So yeah, as they suggested, they will send me a testing card, so I will be able also to do another video showing you a working iClass decoding. And so yeah, because I don't have like any samples in here with iClass SE in here, and only I probably have only the Elite for the gym card I have found recently. So yeah, I will try maybe another day with another video just to show you a working decoder in action. And for the SE Elite, yeah, as usual, you will have to use, for example, the proximal tools in order to launch the low class attack in order to extract the keys and then try to dump the card. We'll go forward. I will look now on the IPCAT format. What is it and what you can do with that. Now let's see how the IPK is actually designed. So we can actually see that it is an archive. So yeah, if you inspect, for example, with one of your favorite tools, like for example, file, like that, you can directly see that you're facing an archive and it is actually directly, oh, I have crash also. ICopy-X, IPK. So yeah, you face like a zip archive data. So let's see, just extracting it like that. It's pretty simple. You don't have to use binwalk, for example, in here. And you can already see that in this directory, you can spot some like an app py, where you can just like see the content like that. And it will actually use, for example, I mean, there will be like using the main repository in order to import, for example, a module main and then call it. So yeah, mainly what you will face is if you look, for example, at the main repository, you will see that there's like only a main.so, which will be actually the library which will be loaded, and then the function will be called from this library. So yeah, we can maybe look at it on Ghidra just after. But let's see also there's like a Proxmark 3 binary. This binary also is a binary which is compiled normally. If you look at PM3, sorry. If you look, for example, with Proxmark 3, you will see that it is like a NARM binary. So the architecture that the device is using is a NARM architecture. And we will see also that this is also a known architecture. It is not very custom. So yeah, if you just like inspect to the Proxmark, there's like probably also some Proxmark strings that you will probably spot on it. So yeah, I didn't compare it. I will not compare it to the Proxmark client right now. I think that's also this Proxmark client is, I mean, client, because we don't know yet if it's client or a binary. It is probably just like a launcher. So because if we look at the library in here, you can see that there is like plenty of library, like for HF15, for HF14, etc. So it seems like it will also maybe call also modules from there in order to do some execution. I mean, to execute some command on the Proxmark, which is embedded in the device. So yeah, let's look now the Ghidra, for example, by creating a new project. Sorry, fat fingers. So like that. I will just like now import the file. Like I will import the main file, which is in here. And then let's see by analyzing it, what we got. So yeah, generally what is interesting is that it is already using like a PIX, some PIX. I mean, here you have like some PIX, for example, imports. And if you look, for example, at the import, external import, you'll see that there's like plenty of functions that are actually calling some Python things in here. And it's also reveals us that the file which we are facing in here is like a Python module which has been converted with Cython in order to make it like maybe more, I mean, it would just like optimize the execution time. So yeah, more efficient in the execution time with Cython. Probably it was like the case, and also probably also they wanted to close the binary a little, but they didn't remove the symbol. So it's good for us because actually reversing Cython is pretty dirty. And yeah, if you want to look at the other functions, so we can probably look at the main function, which is like the p init main, and also we can also filter on any main function. We can probably see that in here, the function that is in here will be called. And so then after that, here is like the initial function. And you will probably love because when you, for example, if you're looking to the Proxmark, some Proxmark functions, I don't know, you will probably see also some command lines that are actually also provided in here. So you will see that, for example, when you want to, for example, to shut down the device, I mean, you have this kind of command which is in here. You see that, for example, there's like also some other bash command in here. So yeah, this binary actually, I mean, this module is just to handle the manager, the task manager, actually. And yeah, you can also, for example, directly go to the main xref in here. So if we go to this address, you will also see that, for example, we have the entire function which will actually initialize everything in here with px. So yeah, and as you may see, it's pretty ugly. So yeah, if you want to investigate on it and see how it is launched, you will probably spend some time looking at it. But yeah, it's still doable, as we have also samples. If we don't have samples, we have to match the samples from some complex binaries, and we have also to match it with the architecture and also Linux distribution that is in use in here. And yeah, to find it also by doing some research on some strings, you can actually also find, if you look at, for example, program text in here, and you're looking at, I don't know, I was like searching for some, some text in here. I was like also looking at in here by looking at strings, but I will just like directly give you the hint of that, is that the platform that is in use in here is the NanoPi Neo. So actually, without disassembling the device, we are pretty sure that it is using now the NanoPi Neo platform in order to, for example, to run the Linux operating system. And yeah, we can also maybe look at different things. So yeah, if we import, for example, the RF task, we expect also that all the RF tasks, all the maybe there will be like some function that will bind, for example, the ability to scan, to sniff, etc. Looking at a big project like that, which is compiled with Cython, is a little bit painful with Ghidra. So I was like looking by any chance if there was like any source available on the internet, and I found something interesting. And we can actually, by using the ICopy-X GitHub keyword, we can actually find like an interesting project which is in here made by the ICopy-X community. So there is like a community, and in this community you can also find Philip Chuen, which also participates in the RFID research group for Proxmark, and they actually teared down the device, and it confirms also that the device is using a NanoPi Neo device. So yeah, if you look, for example, for the teardown effort, you can actually see that after disassembling the device, you can actually see the NeoPi, which is in here, and also the parts, including also the antenna, which is in here. So yeah, it's pretty interesting because also there are some parts that are documented in here. You can also see the software. So just looking also at the SD card, which is in here, so you can also retrieve the root file system. You can actually also see other applications that are not in the other things that are not, for example, in the archive. So yeah, the interesting thing is also that the project made something available, and it is also why I could, for example, directly run Proxmark clients, because they also participated in just working with the Proxmark clients on the device. So yeah, this is like a repository which is also, merged normally in the Proxmark. I look like Proxmark 3 Iceman, for example, and you can clearly see that, for example, I didn't look at that earlier, but you can clearly see that the ICopy-X is also, it's mentioned as not supported, but there's like an experimental support on it. So this is also why we have been able to interact with it without problem for the moment. For the things I was doing. But clearly, maybe for some comments it will fail. I don't know yet. I didn't test it for all the comments, but for example, HF commands and other simple commands, I hope that this support works pretty well. If you ask me if this device can totally replace the Proxmark 3 RDV4, I will say no, because there is like an obvious reason, which is the antenna, which you cannot, for example, disassemble pretty easily. So you can, for example, not choose another antenna to have like a bigger range, for example. And the other reason is that, these two devices, the Proxmark 3 DV4 and this device, are not meant for the same reason. For example, this device is only meant to be used, for example, in red team tests, in pen testers, but the Proxmark 3 is can be used in red team tests, pen testers, but also in research. So if you want, for example, to extend the Proxmark 3 capabilities, you can do it pretty easily, but with this device you cannot for the moment. But let's see, maybe in the future, the ICopy-X will be more open, we'll see. But for the moment, I totally recommend this device for red team tests. If you directly want, for example, to select an attack and directly attack instead of just like taking your, for example, your laptop directly, running your laptop, connecting the Proxmark and doing the attack, you can directly take this device with some cards and then copy, for example, a tag that you just like, for example, you can see in a table, or you can copy it, in the pocket, and then write, clone, for example, the tag to another tag, a blank tag. You can do that pretty easily as long as everything is supported in this device. But yeah, for research purposes, stick to the Proxmark 3 at DV4. It is, for me, it is like more comfortable, for example, to extend if I want, for example, to modify some sources, or if I want, for example, to add some other attacks, I can do that pretty easily. So yeah. So this is the end, and I hope you liked this video. So if you liked it, just give it a boop, and then subscribe also to this channel in order to have much more content, because there will be like much more content in the future for red team tests, radio analysis, etc. So yeah, if you like it, subscribe to it. And about the ICopy-X, I will also provide other contents when I will figure out what is going on with the decoder. So like that, you will be also up to date with that. So thank you very much. Thank you for watching, and see you later. Bye. So now let's just try to clone the tag that I have read previously into this tag. So I just like push
data ready for copy.
the right button.
Writing in progress.
Wait for a few seconds.
Write and verify successful.
And normally I can open the door or not. Je vais reprendre le bon tag.
Du coup, c'est un échec cuisant.
Cuisant comme pas possible.
On est d'accord que tu fais n'importe quoi. Lige sa femme, elle tire une caméra à 22h30. Voilà. Hein. Voilà, c'est ça, c'est la vérité.
Ok.